Hiya, I'm Lily and today I'm really excited to be introducing you to a brand new rare earth collection. Now this collection is called In the Forest and it's all about lots of different things you'd find in the forest. So that's not just the foliage but also the animals as well. And I'd just like to take you through this collection and show you what it's all about because it's absolutely lovely. So usually with our rare earth collections we actually have 4 A4 sets of stamps. But it's really exciting because in this collection we've got not only 4 A4 sets, but we've also got a little A5 set as well. So it's bringing you even more versatility and options with this collection. So I'd just like to take you through each of the 5 sets that we have within this collection. So first of all, we have our A5 set. Now, as you can see, we can see all the designs on the packaging, but when we look at the actual stamps themselves, they are actually bigger than the designs we have printed on the packaging. So they're a really lovely size stamp set, even though it is an A5 stamp set. So as you can see in this set, we've got lots of different sentiments. So we have sentiments we can actually mix and match. So we have a great day as separates. So we can build our own sentiments, which gives us lots of versatility, and it's a really fun thing to do, to build up and mix and match your own sentiments. We also have these solid outline stamps as well, and as I take you through the collection you'll see that some of the other stamps within the other sets will actually fit within these shapes. We also have lots of lovely little filler stamps, and those are great for filling in gaps that you might have in your project when you feel it just needs a little bit of something extra, or they're also great for building up your own backgrounds. So that's our first A5 set. Next I'd like to show you our background set. So we have 4 different repeating backgrounds. We also have this gorgeous silhouette tree design, and as you can see they are really good size. However, don't forget that we can actually repeat these backgrounds to build up pieces that are as large as you would like them. So don't forget, these stamps are not just to be used in card making, they can be used in scrapbooking and home decor as well. So you could fill a whole 12 by 12 inch scrapbook page with these backgrounds, creating your own pattern papers really easily, and it's really fun. And don't forget that all of these stamps are available to buy at crafting.co.uk, and the details are all on the side of your screen there. So in addition to our 4 repeating backgrounds, as I say, we do have this gorgeous silhouette tree. Now this would be absolutely fantastic just done in black and white, or adding in front of some of your inky backgrounds. Perhaps you have some of the rare earth watercolour concentrates or some of our rare earth blending inks. Why not create a gorgeous background using your inks and then stamping these silhouette trees over the top in black, perhaps even heat embossing. So there's lots of different options with this set. Next I'm going to take you to look at the In the Distance stamp set. And we've got lots of lovely animals on this set, as well as some of more silhouette trees. So as you can see, they're really decent size, and I must confess these have been used, so they do look a little bit mucky, but yours, when you buy them on Crafting, will be perfectly clean and ready to go. So we've got the animals not only in silhouette, but we've also got them in the design where you can colour them in, and there's lots of gorgeous detail within these stamps. They're really fine, but they stamp out really beautifully and crisply every single time. And as I mentioned earlier, in the A5 set we have some shapes, and you'll find that some of these animals will actually fit inside of those shapes, which gives you lots of options to make gorgeous projects. We also have some more sentiments within this set, and again you can mix and match those, and the font's very nice on those because it's something a little bit different, but it'd be perfect for both feminine and masculine makes. So there's a lot of versatility there with your sentiments in this set. Next we've got the set called Sweet Aroma. Now as you can see, we've got a range of different size stamps on this set. We've got sentiments again in a mix of different fonts. So lots of different options there for different styles of projects depending on what you're wanting to create. We've got lots of flora and fauna as well, and a few smaller scene stamps. So those are going to be really fun to colour up, perhaps using your Ink Lily alcohol pens or even your ink pads. Lots of versatility within this set as well. Finally, we've got what I must say is probably my favourite set. We've got lots of little stamps within this set, and it's perfect for building up your own backgrounds. So multiple stamping these stamps all over your cardstock, and you can create your own pattern papers, which is really fun to do. Then colouring them in is an absolute breeze because you've got lots of detail within the stamp already. So you don't have to think too much about light and shade, where the shadows might fall, because this detail is already in the stamp. The clues as to where the shading is going to go is already there for you, making them so easy to work with. And again, we have another lovely sentiment in this set as well. So that's the 5 sets that we've got within this collection. And don't forget that they're all available on crafting.co.uk, so definitely check it out because it's a fantastic collection, and we've also got a brilliant price for you on it today. I just want to mention as well what type of stamps these are. Now, these are clear stamps. They're not rubber stamps, they are clear. So what that means is we can actually see through our stamp, and we use them by mounting them onto something like an acrylic block or a rare earth load and fold. And they're really, really easy to stamp with because they are such high quality. They just cling to your block, you apply your ink and stamp out. You can use whatever ink you would like. Because of the quality of these polymer stamps, you'll find that you get a fine detail every single time. However, the first time that you use them, you might find you don't get a perfect impression. That's because of some of the manufacturing residue that might still be on the stamp. So just give them a test stamp out, get them used to being used with the ink, and you'll get perfect results from then on. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd just like to put a little card together just to show you what you can do with this gorgeous collection. So all I've done is I've taken just 3 stamps within the collection. So think how many stamps you've got in the collection, and for this project I'm only going to use 3. So how many options are there with this collection? They are absolutely endless. There's all sorts you can do with it. And it doesn't matter what your style is, there's something for everyone with this collection. And as I've mentioned earlier, it's perfect for feminine cards, masculine cards, for younger recipients, older recipients. It really is a very versatile collection. And so many people love being in the great outdoors. Perhaps your auntie loves walking, perhaps your granddad loves being out in the forest and exploring. This collection will be perfect for that. So I'm actually going to create a shape card for you here. So all I've done is I've taken some of my Tattered Lace Essentials circle dies, and these are Foundations 2 nesting circles. And what I've done is I've folded a piece of A4 white card in half. I've cut a circle out, but I've just left the die hanging over the top slightly as to create our card shape. On the back, I've just trimmed a straight line off so that the card will actually stand. If I wasn't to do that, then it would be a rocker card and it would rock, which is another great effect. But in this instance, I wanted it to stand proud, just like so. Then I've cut another full circle, exactly the same size, again out of white card. And all I'm going to do just to create this card blank is I'm going to take some wet glue. You can use something like a red liner tape or a double-sided tape if you prefer, but just for speed I'm using this bookbinding glue. I'm going to apply some glue onto there and just stick my circle, the complete circle, over the top of my folded piece. And that's going to give me this card blank that's circular and is complete like so, and stands very, very easily. So that's the card base done. It's just something a little bit different. Rather than doing square cards or rectangular cards all the time, I want to show you that with stamps you can do your shape cards as well. There's so much you can do with stamping, there really is. It's fantastic. So what I've done is I've taken some more of these circle dies and I've just cut 3 in white and 3 in black. They're going to be my mats and layers, but we'll come to them in a minute. Just taking my smallest circle, and I've got one of the sentiments from the collection which says "Just for you." This gorgeous sentiment. It's fairly small, but it's nice within the collection. We've got a mix of different sizes of sentiments, so you've got something for whatever sort of project you're working on. Taking my acrylic block, and I'm just going to mount that onto there. With it being a clear polymer stamp, it will just cling to your block. If you find it's not clinging so well, your stamp might be slightly mucky, so just give it a little wash and that should sort that out for you nicely. I'm taking a black ink pad. Now I'm using a VersaFine. This is a pigment ink pad. It's going to give me a really sharp, crisp image. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up my stamp. Now this stamp has already been used before, so I'm not going to test stamp it on a separate piece of card, but I would recommend when it's the first time using a set of stamps, just give them a little test on a separate piece of card just to see how they stamp. As I say, just sort of season them with the ink. So I'm just going to stamp that onto my circle. If you prefer to use a rare earth load and fold, then that's absolutely fine and brilliant, and you'll find you get beautiful results every time with that too. So that's my sentiment stamped out. I'm going to just quickly mount that onto a slightly larger black circle. Now I've chosen black as my matte and layer colour, just to bring out the black ink on the sentiment, and that's going to draw the eye in to the sentiment in the middle of that circle. So wet glue again as I'm applying it flat, and that's my sentiment ready for my project. I would wash this stamp. You can use warm soapy water, you can use a stamp cleaner, you can use baby wipes if you like, as long as they're alcohol free. It's completely up to you, but just make sure you do give your stamps a little wash when you finish with them, just to prolong their lifetime really. I've taken another circle that I've die cut, and as you can see, very, very lightly, I've marked out using a pencil different sections. I'm just taking this very, very small little leafy sprig, and all I've done is I've roughly measured how many of the sprigs I can get around that circle, because I want to create a sort of wreath. So I know that I can get about 7 around the outside, and I know that the spacing is going to be right because I've just had a little look and just measured it out. Nothing really precise, but just to give me a little idea as to where I'm going. And again, I'm going to ink up using a black VersaFine. Now, the ink I'm using would differ depending on how I am planning to colour these stamped images. If I was planning to use my alcohol pens, so like my Ink Lilly alcohol pens, I would use a Memento ink pad. If I were to try and colour using Ink Lilly pens over the top of this stamped image when I'm using VersaFine, I would actually find that it would bleed. So you do need something like a Memento if you're using your alcohol pens. However, with VersaFine you will get a crisp image, so as I'm leaving it in black and white, it's perfect for that. If I were to be using a water-based medium or coloured pencils, then VersaFine would be perfect again too, as you'll find it won't bleed. So all I'm doing is I'm taking this very small stamp within the collection, so perhaps you might overlook this sort of stamp to start with. I think we tend to, when we get a new stamp set, we're drawn to the large focal images, and we sort of feel the set focuses around them, but don't neglect the smaller stamps. They do earn their place within that set. They're not just there to fill space, they are there for a reason. We can create backgrounds, we can do so much with them. So they are just as important as the big bold stamps within the set. So I'm just going around the final image to be stamped there, and we've actually built up our own sort of little wreath. What I would do now is I would actually just rub out the little pencil lines, as we don't want to see those. But I will do that afterwards. And again, I would be cleaning my stamp. So I've got another circle of black that's slightly larger. This is again being die cut. I'm just going to wet glue my stamped circle onto the black mat. And that's just going to draw the eye in to the centre, and that's that section done. Finally, I'm going to focus on the background, and I've cut another white circle. Now I'm using this stamp, and as you'll see, it's actually just a larger version of the stamp I've just used. Now you might at first think, why would I want exactly the same stamp in a slightly different size? However, if I would have used this larger stamp around here, then it would have looked too large and it wouldn't have looked quite right. However, if I were to use this smaller stamp for this background, it might look slightly too small. So by having different sizes of the same stamp gives you lots of versatility, and they work together on the same project absolutely fantastically. So you can see that there's a lot of thought has been put into the design of these stamps. So what I would like to do with this is I'd like to create an all over background. So just randomly stamping all over this piece to make it look like I've got my own custom made pattern paper. So again, inking the stamp up, always take the ink to your stamp rather than the other way around. You'll just find that you get a better coating of ink all over. I'm going to randomly stamp this sprig all over this piece. However, I don't need to worry about doing anything in the middle of the piece, as we're actually going to be covering the middle with that layer. So I just need to worry about the edges. I don't need to stamp in the middle as it will just be covered. So there's not any need to do that at all. So changing the direction of my stamp every time to get that sort of random feel, as if it is a real pattern paper, if you like, rather than something that you created yourself. But the brilliant thing about creating your own backgrounds and your own pattern papers, that you're completely in control. It's completely up to you what you want to do, how you want to create that pattern paper. If you'd like to leave it in black and white, would you like to heat emboss it? Would you like to colour it perhaps using alcohol pens or inks? Would you like to ink the edges? It's completely up to you, and that's the brilliant thing when you are stamping. It gives you so much freedom and so much versatility, but you don't have to be artistic at all to start stamping, because all the hard work, all the artistic part has already been done for you in the design of the stamps. So I'm just filling in these gaps. Again, I'm using my acrylic block, but as I say, you can use a load and fold if you find that easier, because that way if you do miss a little bit, you can go back in and stamp again on the same place. Now I'm just going to pull in my next layer just to see that I'm happy with how many I've got stamped there. There's a slightly large area there, so I'm just going to fill that in with another image just to fill that space. And that's something that I would definitely recommend. Just have a little look, just sort of assess where you are and as to whether you want to stamp a little bit more or whether it's full enough already. Just going to add another sprig down here like so, and I'm quite pleased with that. So as you can see, I've created my own background there, and I could be colouring that in now, or I could be leaving it black and white like I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop the lid on my ink pad, and I'm going to mount this piece again onto black. So we've got that continuity between the three layers. We've got those three black mats on each layer just to get that flow through the design and draw the eye into the centre where our sentiment is going to be. So that's onto there like so. I'm going to bring my card blank back in that we made earlier, and I'm going to take this time some foam tape just for an extra bit of dimension onto here. So this is a 2mm foam tape, so it's 2mm in depth. It's fairly thin. If you prefer to use foam pads rather than foam on a roll, you can, and that's completely up to you. I'm just going to add a little piece into the centre just to stop the centre from sagging. I'm just going to remove the backing from the foam tape, and then we're going to apply this section onto our card base. Now by using foam tape, it gives us that drop shadow, that extra bit of dimension, and creates some more interest onto our project. I'm taking my next layer where I created this stamped wreath, and again I'm going to apply some double-sided foam tape onto there for that little bit of lift, that little bit of dimension onto there. I'm just peeling the backs off that. So you could be doing this card any shape you like. You could do it square or rectangular. I just chose a circular design as something a little bit different, and it works really nicely with that sort of wreath design. And just gluing that into the centre like so. Finally, I'm taking my sentiment, which was the first thing we actually stamped out right at the beginning. Again, applying some more foam tape onto there. Then the important thing to remember is that we've got this nice and straight, so that our sentiment is going to be the right way up, nice and straight in the centre, like so. And that would be the finished card, as you can see, just in black and white, so really simple, really easy to do. If you're not confident with colouring, then don't worry, there's still lots you can do with these stamps. I'd just like to bring in this card, a very similar design, but I've just coloured the images using alcohol pens. These are our ink Lilly pens. So I've stamped using Memento and coloured those in. So you can see you get two really different effects using exactly the same designs, exactly the same stamps, but only 3 stamps within the collection. So think how many options you've got with this collection. Talking of what you can do with this collection, I'd just like to show you a short clip of some samples we've got made using this collection just to inspire you. Well, I hope that provided some inspiration for you as to what you can do with your rare earth in the forest collection. And don't forget to check it out on crafting.co.uk. Now, we've got something really exciting. What we'd like to do is we'd like to give away the entire collection to one lucky winner. So that's 4 A4 sets of stamps and an A5 set of stamps as well, the entire collection. All you've got to do is like this post, tag a friend, and then share with us a picture of one of your favourite projects created using your rare earth stamps. That's all you need to do. And we're going to choose one lucky winner to win this entire brand new collection. So that's everything within the collection, the 5 sets of stamps. So all of your sentiments, all of your scenes, all of your backgrounds, everything within the entire collection is going to be going to one lucky winner. So don't forget to like the post, tag a friend and share with us a picture of one of your projects that you've created using your rare earth stamps, and we're really looking forward to seeing your projects that you share with us. So good luck.